Alright, so they can actually both be divided by 16. So 32 divided by 16 is 2, so not a 4. And 48 divided by 16 is 3. So the ratio is 2/3. Pretty easy. Okay, so this is chapter 11, lesson 1, ratios and rates. This is something that's really a review for y'all. You've learned this in my class, Mr. Kiger's class, Ms. Haig's class, and not to mention Mrs. Smith's class. So this should be a very good review for you. The reason why we're relearning this is because in about 3 or 4 more chapters, we're going to get into trigonometric ratios. So this is going to be a very, very good review for a lot of you. And it will probably be good for a lot of your grades as well. So Miss Parsons has 48 students enrolled in her after-school math lab, but has only 32 handheld devices. What is the ratio of handheld devices to students? Because handheld is first, that's the number that goes first. And then students is second, so that's the number that goes second. So I'm going to go ahead and underline my 32 handheld devices, my 48 students. So 32 to 48 should be my ratio. I wrote it in ratio form, but if you notice, there's a word form, a ratio form, and a fraction form. The ratio of handheld devices to students can be written in these different ways. But if you notice right here, ratios are often expressed in simplest form. The ratio of A to B can be expressed in simplest form by dividing both A and B by their greatest common factor. That is the number, you would ask yourself, what number can they both be divided by? The biggest number they can both be divided by. So 32 over 48. These can both be divided by 8. 32 divided by 8 equals 4. 48 divided by 8 equals 6. Ooh, there's a bigger number. What else can they be divided by? 32 and 48 equals 12,600. And that's going to be pounds. And then 1 times 1 times 1 times 16 equals 16, and that's going to be hours. And so now we can cancel, we can do 12,600 divided by 16, and we should get our unit rate, which means it's per 1, 787 and 5/10 pounds per 1 hour. A unit rate means it's per 1. Alright. Okay, so machine A processes 3.5 ounces of material per second. Machine B processes 720 pounds of the same material per hour. Which machine is faster? So, if you notice, there are 2 types of units of measure, and so this is ounces of material, ounces. We have ounces per second. Wow, my handwriting looks really bad on the screen today. Ounces per second and pounds of the same material per hour. So then we have pounds per hour. So we have to decide if we want both of them in ounces per second or both of them in pounds per hour. I'm going to go ahead and convert them to ounces per second to pound. I'm going to convert the ounces per second to pounds per hour to compare. So the one that is ounces per second, which is 3.5 ounces, per 1 second. You okay? You're okay. You're okay. Alright, so then you have to think of what you can multiply this by to get rid of the seconds. and you know that if you're trying to get rid of seconds, that they need to cancel out. So this needs to be seconds and this needs to be seconds. And we're going to hour. So that means that I need to be getting bigger. So that means I would be converting it to minutes first. So there are 30 seconds in 1 minute. So then my seconds goes away. Alright, and now I need to get rid of my minute. So that means if I'm getting rid of my minute needs to go on top because my minute's on bottom now. And now I can go from minutes to hour. So how many minutes are in 1 hour? Well, did I just put 30 seconds? I'm sorry. 60 seconds in 1 minute. How many minutes are in 1 hour? There are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Okay, so now I know my minutes are gone. And so there's one more conversion. I have hour now at the bottom, and I have ounce at the top. So I need to figure out, how do I get rid of the ounce? I want the ounce to go away. The ounce is at the top, so I need there to be an ounce at the bottom. So I'm going to put ounces on the bottom. And there are 16 ounces. And I'm converting it to pounds. 16 ounces in 1 pound. So now that all of my measures are correct, because I know that now they'll cancel out, I can multiply all the top numbers together and multiply all the bottom numbers together and divide. Or I can simplify them by finding, by cross-reducing. For example, but you can use a calculator, so we might as well go from top times top times top times top, bottom times bottom times bottom times bottom, and then do top and bottom out. So 3.5 times 60 times 60 times 1. Okay, which has a lower unit cost? 8 ounces of shampoo for $2.98 or 12 ounces of shampoo for $5.26. So, some of you might think this is actually very pointless to know, but when you're on a budget, when you are fending for yourself and your parents aren't paying for everything, you're going to want to be able to save some money and determine which one is really actually the real deal, which one's a good buy. So, unit cost tells you that you're finding per one. So, you're trying to find out how much it costs for 1 ounce. So that means you have 8 ounces of shampoo for $2.98. So your rate is $2.98 for 8 ounces. And some of you already know all you're going to be doing is dividing because you're trying to find it for 1. So you're trying to find out if this one is greater than or less than $5.26 for 12 ounces. So I'm going to go ahead and show what they are, ounces. So I want you to figure out how much it would be per 1. So really you're doing $2.98 divided by 8, so you can get 1 down there. So $2.98 divided by 8 is 375 thousandths. So that's how much it costs for 1 ounce, and that's going this way. I'm sorry, it's kind of curving because my face is in the way. And then $5.26 divided by 12. That means for 1 ounce it will cost about 48 cents for 1 ounce. So which one really is the better buy? This one. And sometimes they have those really good deals, or they look like good deals. And if you notice, at Walmart or I was about to say H-E-B, but y'all don't have one of those here. But wherever you go shopping at, it gives you a unit rate. It tells you how much it is per ounce or per pound. So keep that in mind when you're shopping. Okay, the two problems that I want you to do is number 8 and number 9, and tomorrow when you come to class, we will check that. Hi, Reese. Hey. Hi. Oh.